Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to today's podcast. You've just got Joe here today, but I have a very special guest with us. I have Lauren from LaurenFitFoodie on the show today. Very, very excited to have her. And we're going to talk all about Lauren, and our clients love Lauren and LaurenFitFoodie, and have a lot of questions for her. But before we get into that, let me tell you a little bit what's going on with Couture Fitness Coaching right now. We just launched our July program. We run our programs on the quarter. So we just started a bunch of ladies off in our July program. And then, of course, we will be opening again in October. So if you want to join us in October, really strongly consider getting on our wait list. There will be a link in the show notes. And that's how you can start getting news from us and get everything you need to know to join us in October. But like I said, we have Lauren from LaurenFitFoodie with us today. And so Lauren, why don't you just kick things off by introducing yourself and telling us a little bit about your macros journey.
All right. Well, hello everyone, and thank you for having me on. I'm super excited. So I don't know. I feel like macros has just been like such a big part of me like for so long now. It's like so hard to like even identify like where it came into play at. But I think like it was first like introduced to me in college. There was like some friends that I had who like were getting into it, and that was also kind of when Instagram was starting to become popular, and I was seeing some people on there doing macros, and like I had come from a history of like like similar girls like in college like wanting to kind of like get in shape, like just always like feeling like I'm like chasing like a look like to be like more in shape, and like before that like all I had really tried was just eating less, like because that's like kind of like how you grew up, was just like learning that less is more, like oh I need to do less carbs, less of this, just less. And so like it was really like the macros really intrigued me because I come from like a background in science, like I really like learning like how the body works, and just like numbers in general. And so like I was really intrigued by macros, and so like I gave it a shot and just completely fell in love with it. And that's like kind of why I'm here now, because I still like I think it's just incredibly like empowering, like because it teaches you like how to fuel your body, versus like I said, like how most of us grew up was thinking that less is more. Like it teaches you like no, like that's not the case at all. Like you need carbs for energy, like you need fat for hormones, like you need protein to build muscle, like all of it is important. And so just super eye-opening to me. And from there I kind of like I started an Instagram because like for me dessert is necessary. And so that was the hardest part for me with the macros, was like just figuring out like how to incorporate dessert all the time, like in a macro friendly way. So that's where I kind of created the Instagram, because like I was loving all these creations that I was coming up with, and I just wanted to share them with everybody. And yeah, like from there did the blog and all that stuff. So
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I think that's really interesting. And I totally agree with you. As women, especially, we are so brainwashed that if you want to lose weight or you want to change your body shape, it means taking away something or cutting calories or restricting in some way. And so um, my mind was also blown the first time. It was actually my business partner, Allison. It was the first time I had prepped for a show and my body kind of plateaued. And she was like, well, if you want to bust out of that, you're probably going to have to eat more. And I was like, what? That doesn't even, how can that be? So yeah, I do think it's mind blowing when you do really begin to learn what adequate nutrition is for an adult female body and how much that is a game changer in terms of changing your body. So when you first started with macros, did you also get into resistance training at that time?
yeah, it wasn't like like I had started like kind of like sprinkling it in. Like I didn't like full on go into a program at that point. I wish I would have, looking
Yeah.
back, obviously. But yeah, I mean, slowly but surely. Like I was still like in college and like scared of the men only like resistance side of the gym. But um I knew like before that, like I was just kind of doing like the cardio machines and like the cardio dance classes. But after that, like I was like looking up like, oh, like what strength classes can I do? So I did start sprinkling it in more. But definitely like looking back, I wish I would have done it sooner.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Mhm.
Okay, and so what was your big break as a blogger? Because you're pretty popular. I don't know how to count. I mean, I can count. We can count your followers on Instagram and stuff, but did you have a big break as a food blogger?
I was about to say, like, I don't think I did. Like, I still feel like I don't know what I'm doing like half the time. But I mean, I think like I don't know. I feel like it kind of like just like grew in stages. I know, like when I did recipes for Madeline Moves, like Tie Her Together, like that was kind of like one of like the big exposures I got, and that like increased like readers a lot. But like I said, I still feel like I don't know what I'm doing half the time, so I don't really feel like I had like a break, so to say.
Yeah, well, I'm sure many people, many of your followers would disagree with you. So do you have any training as a chef or anything? Like, how did you figure out all the cooking stuff?
No, like just Google. Like it's just, I mean, crazy what you can learn like from Google and like watching YouTube videos.
Hmm.
I mean, I'm
Yeah,
still
okay.
learning like even like more to this day. Like I feel like I started like in the dessert realm, but now like I'm starting to experiment with like more like savory like types of cooking, and so it's just like just fun like learning how to cook. But yeah, I'll just like self-taught.
Cool. And so are you doing, is your blog all you do now? Is that what you do for work full time now?
Yes, yes.
That's amazing.
I know, because I was doing the macro coaching. Like when I first like left nursing, I was doing both. But yeah, like I think it was. I mean, it's been about a year and a half ago now where I transitioned to only doing the recipes because it's just so much that goes into both of them, and I felt like I was kind of being torn in two different directions. So more.
Yeah, yeah, no, I think, well, I've never tried to be a food blogger, but I would think it's very, very time consuming, like all the pictures and the testing and looking up the nutritional information about all of the recipes. I'm sure that does keep you very busy.
Yeah, there's a lot. I feel like there's a lot more that goes into it than people realize. Like just like on the back end, and then with the nutrition too. Like how can I make this more macro friendly, and then
Mhm.
entering it in my fitness pal and stuff like that. So
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so okay, so the next questions I have for you have to do with your individual macros. So, and like I said, these are the burning questions all of our clients had for you, who some are probably some of your biggest fans. So you recently got married.
yes.
Can you take us through how you got ready for your wedding? Like in terms of, did you do a reverse for a while and then do a cut? Like how did you approach getting ready for your wedding?
Yes. So I knew like I mean obviously like through like I had some experience with macros over the years, and so as soon as like we knew like when our date was going to be, like I knew that I wanted to plan for enough time like to have to be eating at maintenance like before my cut, and then also like to start reversing back up like and not enter wedding at like the tail end of your cut. So I kind of like planned it like with that in mind and did maintenance, for like a period of time before the cut. Um, and then I like did a 20% deficit from there at the beginning of January. And so it ended up lasting like 13 weeks, I think is what I extended it till. And then from there, I started adding more back in because I knew I wanted more food to work with for like the wedding and the honeymoon and stuff.
Nice. That sounds great. Okay. Do you mind sharing with us what your maintenance calories are, your reverse calories are, and your cutting calories are? At least I guess for this wedding.
Yes. Well, so um before that, like I guess like last like fall, like winter, like I was pretty active. Like I was getting more steps in like than I usually had like at other periods of maintenance. So they were like a little bit higher than they had been in the past, like around like 2200 ish. I didn't count. I wasn't tracking like strictly like
Mhm.
thoughts and like maintenance and stuff because like it was like during the holidays and stuff too. So like about like like 3 or 4 days a week, like I'd kind of like log some stuff just to like make sure I was kind of staying you know, within that area. Because the wedding was like coming up, right? So I was trying to like
Mhm.
make sure I had some numbers to work with. And then so yeah, like around like 2200 is where I was at, and then I brought it down to. I went ahead and like did like I don't know how like you guys like to do with macros, but I didn't do like a gradual. Like I kind of went ahead and jumped to 20%, um, just because that's like what I've had like the most success with in the
Mhm.
past. versus like a 15% deficit. So I went ahead and did that. And so I was eating like my body weight in protein, and then fats and carbs were kind of, they were like they kind of varied by the day. Like I didn't pay like
Mhm.
as much attention to them, but did try to keep my fats around like 50 to like around 50 grams or so. Yeah, as well. The kind of like the goal was, but I didn't stress if it, I didn't hit it. Mainly just tried to hit like 1650 calories and
Mhm.
120 grams of protein.
Okay. So around 1,650 calories for your cut.
Yep.
And you did that the whole time. That was your calorie level the whole time, or did you have to go any lower?
Yeah, that I did that the whole time. So
Nice. Okay. And how much weight or what was your body composition change during that time period?
I think I can't remember exactly, but I think I lost like 8 pounds.
Okay.
That was, I
And
mean, I was very happy with that. Yeah.
mhm. And you looked how you wanted to on your wedding.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I took progress pictures too. And so you could definitely see like that I tightened up more, but I felt more confident than I ever had. So I was very happy. And at
Nice.
that
And
point,
I
I started to add food back in too. So my muscles were like filling out a little bit more. So
mhm.
it
Nice.
was perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like a very sane approach to getting ready for a big event. I remember for my wedding, this was many years ago. Well, it'll be soon be 20 years ago. I did the Slim Fast thing,
Oh, I
and
remember
like
that.
100 push-ups a day. So
Oh,
what you did sounds so much better. Okay, well, awesome. And then what were you able to get your calories back up to for your wedding and your honeymoon?
so I was still like in the middle of a reverse kind of when I went on my honeymoon. Um, but like I'd already like started like adding them up, but then of course like I didn't track anything.
Right, of course.
So there was like I think two weeks straight where I just didn't track, and I definitely ate more than maintenance. But you know, it's your honeymoon, right? Um, and then I started tracking some like when we got back. But to be honest, like now, like I'm not like super like tracking every day. Like I'm kind of back into like that maintenance mode where like I'm you know like I'm not like anal about it. Like I've done this for so long. Like I'm not needing
Yes.
to track every single day to make sure I'm at where I'm at. So like I mean I feel like I'm probably like around like 2100 right now because I'm not as active as I was last fall. With it being like so hot outside, like
Mhm.
actually staying in more. But I feel like I'm probably around like 2100 like right now. But every day is like different. That's probably what like it averages out to be like for the week.
Yeah, that sounds like, and that's what we try to impart to our clients is that like if you do the work, get your calories up, don't crash diet from a reasonable amount of calories, then this is what you get in exchange. You can lose weight when you want to lose weight by just cutting your calories a little bit. Nothing, nothing. We're not talking about cutting down to like 1,000 calories a day or anything. And then you can go on vacation and go on trips or have holidays at a higher calorie range and not worrying about. I assume your weight did not skyrocket after your wedding. Like your body is used to these
Yeah.
higher calories and it responded very well.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So that is what lies on the other side of kind of getting through your macros journey and getting the calories up and kind of going through these diet cycles, which to me has translated into complete freedom. I no longer have to take food with me on my special diet food with me on vacation or worry about the holidays, and it truly is freedom.
Yeah, I mean, I think so too. Like, I think like a lot of people think, and a lot of people like are still like kind of in that mindset where they have to be like chasing like fat loss like the whole year, and it's like, of course, like you're gonna get tired of that and like get exhausted and burnt out from it, like because it's not supposed to be that long. You know, you're supposed to get in, to the diet, do what you need to do for those 12 weeks or however long, and then get out and live at maintenance, which I
Yeah,
feel a lot
yeah.
better there too.
Yeah, I think, and then of course, like I guess before that can happen, if you're eating, if you start this journey off eating 1,000 or 1,200 calories, you got to get your calories up first.
Yeah,
There's no way around that. So
yeah, I think that, yeah, those are the two biggest things like if people like don't like doesn't like click like from the get-go. Like you
yeah,
can't like macros aren't gonna work if you've been, eating like super low calories for like, a really long time. So
yeah.
yeah,
And
trying
I think it goes back to kind of that social conditioning that we're just taught that it's so virtuous to eat as little as possible, and the only way to
yeah.
change anything is to restrict and go super low calorie. Okay, so switching gears a little bit, give us your thoughts about strength training. Like now, I'm sure you've been doing that for several years now. Like what has it done for you mentally and physically?
I feel like it was kind of like the opposite of like how with food we were like always saying that like less is more, and like with
Mhm.
working out like more cardio is better. And so like it was just like a huge mental shift for me too, in that like I mean it's not like punishment, it's not like what I have to do, like like I strength train like because I want to, and it's empowering, and
Mhm.
like and that like also like translate like back to your diet, like I want to eat in a way that's like going to fuel me. But like I said earlier, like I wish I would have gotten into strength training sooner and like maximized the newbie gains,
Mhm.
better as like people talk about. But um most definitely, like I don't think that I would like have the physique that I have today without, building muscle. Like it would just be like, to be skinny fat, like there'd be like nothing there. And so like, I mean, it's just been game changer for me. Like I love strength training now. Like it's not like I don't dread working out, like, getting on the treadmill to do cardio. Like I look forward to like, beating my last bicep curl weight and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So it's just very empowering.
Yeah, I agree. It is. It's hard to know that until you experience it, but it is very empowering. And I used to be, well, I was not a like competitive distance runner, but I had done marathons, half marathons, and
That's
yes,
impressive
that is,
stuff.
you feel very accomplished when you do that, but it's also can be very depleting. And I feel like strength training is the opposite. Like
Yeah,
it is
totally.
much more empowering, both physically and mentally. So I agree with all of that.
Yep.
Okay, what is your best advice for people who are just starting, getting started with tracking macros and cooking sort of in this macro-friendly way? And I guess first, why don't you define that for us in your words, like what macro-friendly recipes and cooking is?
Well, in my mind, like macro friendly foods and like eating is just like it's macro balanced. So like instead of like, I mean, I guess those two words can be used interchangeably. Like
Mhm.
macro friendly, like is macro balanced. Like it's not like a dish that's like really low on protein and like high on fat. Like it's usually a dish that has like a good amount of protein, like
Mhm.
for that serving, and it's a little bit lower in fat compared to most recipes out there, and then it's balanced in carbs, kind of, and that can honestly mean like a lot of different things, like because it could be like lower carb or like more moderate carb, kind of just like what you need for that stage you're in, and whether you're dieting or at maintenance or whatever.
Yeah.
um and like starting out, like I feel like you probably tell your clients like the number one like tip is to log the night before, like, and
Mhm.
that's like I mean that's how only reason I like I'm able to successfully log a full day too, because like the day gets busy, and so definitely log the night before to make your life easier. You could always like change it around, like with whatever comes up, like, but it's so nice to have like a skeleton there. um
Mhm.
and besides that, I'd say like keep it simple from the start, because it's so much like you're learning. And so like having like a handful of recipes like that that you like, that work, like you don't have to like make something different every night, and that's like that would usually probably cause like more headache. Like just kind of keep it easy from the get-go. Is the best advice I would give.
Yeah, I agree with both of those things. Number one, I think expecting that you're going to hit your macros with zero planning or zero thinking, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, I mean
And
I didn't even
even,
do
yeah,
that.
I know. That's what I say is, I mean, like, it's hard to hit those protein targets unless you are trying, you have to try pretty hard. Um, it's not just going to accidentally happen, especially with the protein. It's very easy to go under on the protein, way over on, for me, it's usually fats. I'm usually high on fats when I'm just mindlessly
Yep.
doing my thing and actually not so high on carbs. So yeah, you got to have a plan. And then I agree also, I always say like, come up with a couple of breakfasts and a couple of lunches that you can just put on repeat and then maybe vary up dinner if that's, if you need some variety. But most people, even when they're not dieting, are not making themselves a gourmet breakfast every day. So
Yeah.
you can just, don't worry about getting bored or anything. Just get some recipes and some foods that will work for you.
Yeah, and
So
having
yeah,
an emergency like 5-minute meal too.
yeah, I think that's a really great idea. That might just
Yeah,
be something like some turkey, some peppers, hummus, or
exactly.
just, yeah,
Yeah.
something that you can just throw together. I agree.
Mhm.
Okay, and then this was a big question that some of our clients had who follow you very closely, and is how do you plan your macros when you are testing your recipes? So how do you manage all the licks, tastes, and bites, like when you're perfecting a recipe or testing out a recipe?
I really had to like, yeah, think about this question because I'm like I don't know, like I feel like I've done it for so long that I just kind of like do it like subconsciously, but I do make sure I have a breakfast beforehand, obviously with protein in it, because otherwise it's so much easier for me to like want to go in for more bites that way. And so like definitely starting with a protein packed breakfast helps me a lot. Staying hydrated helps me a lot because
Mhm.
otherwise, like, I really just want to like take a bite out of everything. But besides that, like, I definitely like I feel like that's part of the process. You kind of have to take bites and licks, and so like I just kind of like roughly track those when I am like when I am tracking. Like I said, I don't track every day now, so like it's not like always like a thing, but like when I am, like, I'll go back like at the end of that and be like, okay, like I have like, maybe like a half a serving of this like granola or whatever, like testing it out. So it's not like perfect or anything. But when I am tracking, I do like try to like after this I go back in and kind of account for that.
How often are you creating new recipes? Like, are you doing like one or two a week? Or, I mean, you seem pretty prolific, but I just wondering what that breaks down to.
Well, like, so and I've tried to divide my days now because, like I said, there's so much computer work that goes into stuff
Mhm.
too. And I found that it's easier kind of when I like have like recipe days and when I have like computer days. And so I'll try to have 2 days like a week, and those are like focused on foods. And so I'll try to do like 2 to 3 recipes, um, 2 to 3 recipes, maybe four those days. And but sometimes, like you said, it's like having to make the recipe again because it didn't quite turn out the first time. So
Mhm.
yeah, and then like
Okay.
the weekends like to play around with some stuff too. So I don't know. I feel like I'm in the kitchen a lot.
Yeah. Now, and then your now husband, is he into macros too? Because that's another thing I get from people is like, well, I can't do this because my family doesn't do it, but you can. But just curious, out of curiosity, is your husband, he probably eats your recipes.
Yeah, he does. He eats everything. And so like he's never tracked macros before. He did like download my fitness pal once. I was
Okay.
like, oh my gosh, you downloaded my fitness pal? Like what? But yeah, I mean for the most part, like he's really into like working out. So he'll do like a lot of like boxing and like strength training and stuff too. So like he's into like, eating nutritious stuff too, but he also like obviously likes comfort food. And so um I don't know. He definitely like eats all my food, minus like some of the desserts. Like he's not a dessert person, but like as far as like the savory stuff goes, like he'll just eat whatever really. Like I mean, I feel like as long as you make the food taste good, which is like the goal, right? Like you never want to eat
Mhm.
food that tastes bad. Like of course, like your husband or whoever's gonna eat it too. So like
Yeah, I think that that is my number one message because I am food motivated. I'm not someone who just eats to live. I probably live to eat. And so
right.
for me, like this being a sustainable lifestyle, but I've told people, like, even when I have been in show prep, like, listen, like, I have had dinner parties and no one knew they were eating healthy food. And it can be like the macros life can be a very luxurious food life. It really can be. It's just about kind of being differently, I guess, different intention in terms of like what you focus you're not going to make a very fatty mac and cheese. You might make like a grilled chicken and a salad or something instead. It's just sort of being intentional about what you're making. But I agree, it can be delicious food for sure.
Exactly.
Um, okay, what are your top five favorite recipes that you've created? Or that you would, if someone has never heard of you before, you would tell them to definitely go try.
Well, definitely the egg white pizza. That's probably like my number one, just because like it was it's like it like flips, right? So like the crescent roll dough like goes to the top and the egg whites go to the bottom. And so like I was so excited like when I was first trying it out because I was like, oh, like this is gonna be like so macro friendly, like it's gonna be like a breakfast pizza. everybody's gonna love it. But then like when it flipped, I'm like, oh my gosh, no, like it's ruined. Like when I
Mhm.
first made it, but now it's like one of my most popular recipes. And so, and I make it all the time because it's so easy. So that definitely has to be up there. And then I'd say like the buffalo chicken spaghetti squash casserole. Like love that one too, like especially like when dieting because it's a little bit lower carbs, and that's like also like my mom's favorite recipe of mine, like the one that is probably like the only one she makes like on repeat all the time. So I love it for that reason.
Mhm.
And then the other three are probably like sweets, and like the slutty brownies, which is the Oreo in the middle with the cookie dough and the brownie.
Okay.
Uh, and then there's a cookies and cream brownies, and that's up there too. Those are both in my sweets cookbook. And then probably like the sugar cookie bars on my website, because there's so many ways you can switch that one up, like depending on like what kind of frosting you want to add, like for the holidays and stuff. And they taste like sugar cookie bars, so they're delicious. Love those.
Okay. Okay. And now that we're on the topic of baking, this is my personal question. How do you, I've never been successfully able to bake with protein powder and it not taste weird. So how is it is the secret in the protein powder that you use? Um, so
So,
tell us the secret to that.
well, I think a large part of it, I mean, a large part of it is the protein powder you use. Um, Usually like the type, because like I've experimented with a lot of different like brands and stuff, and like some are just like whey only,
Mhm.
and some are casein only, and some are whey and casein blend, and then of course there's like plant-based too. And so like I mean I've tried like doing just the whey, and like for usually that one doesn't turn out good. I mean
Yeah,
I haven't tried every
I've
brand,
heard there's, yeah, I've heard there's something about like when you heat whey, it just gets weird.
yeah, and,
So
and that's like usually like the classic like oh protein powder desserts are bad because it doesn't respond well when baked. It was just the
yeah,
way. So I usually use a whey plus casein blend, and that works well. But then also like a plant based usually works just fine as well. Like if you need to do vegan, I found that that one works just as great. I don't really have a whole lot of experience like cooking or baking only with like casein, but as far as like
okay.
the blend and then the plant-based goes, like you're usually pretty good. But then also, you can't just like throw whatever into it. Like I feel like if you have to like you almost have to like throw like something indulgent in there, like whether it's like a little bit of
Oh,
butter or like
mhm.
a little bit of oil. Like you can't just like strictly do like it's kind of like it's a spectrum, like it's not like, oh, this food is good, oh, this food is bad. Like I like to think of it as like, I mean, obviously this dessert is like a little bit, healthier because like it's a little bit more macro friendly, but it's not like, I mean, obviously it could be more macro friendly. Like things would always be more macro friendly, but like throwing like a little bit of butter in there, like a little bit of oil, and like adding like, some applesauce or pumpkin or like, whatever, like to compensate like the amount of like liquid, it makes it better versus like doing like all applesauce or like all pumpkin.
Mhm.
I think that that's like the main thing. Like I try to always like add like a little bit of like something indulgent in there too, and it goes a long way.
Okay, that's a good tip. I like that. Yeah, I think especially if you have ever dieted before, you can really easily get into this all or nothing mindset. And
Definitely. That's how I was when I
that if,
started too.
yeah, that if it's not, super clean, whatever that means, then it's evil or something. But then I think all that sets you up for is just then going off the rails in the other direction. So I think that's a really good tip. Like it is about balance, and just a little bit of butter or something that we would typically not think of as a health food can go a long way. And at the end of the day, it's all about the balance and just hitting your targets, right? I mean, yeah.
Exactly.
So,
Like I said,
okay.
a little bit of it, and, like it really does go a long way in making it taste
Yeah.
good. So
Yeah. Okay. And then similar question, what are sort of your go-to macro-friendly products? Like what is your favorite protein powder to bake with, to do whatever with? I mean, and what else do you have to have?
I always use PE Science. Like I've
Okay.
just always used them like for the past like literally 5 years now, just because I've always had like great success with them. Like I've tried a couple of others here and there, and I just love the science. And so I use their vanilla and cake pop for most recipes. And it works really well. So that's definitely feel like that's a staple.
Okay.
And
And
then,
between, so cake pop is a different flavor from vanilla protein powder.
yeah, it's like you can definitely get cake pop and use it for anything that like calls for vanilla because
Uh-huh.
it's just like a mild, like yellow cakey kind of flavor.
Hmm.
But like, I mean, yeah, it's very versatile, but it's delicious. So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. And is PE science, is that something like that's mail order only, or can you get it on Amazon? Like, where do you get PE science? And do you have a discount code?
They they have it. I'm not sure like how many stores they sell it at, but like I know like I think either GNC or Vitamin Shop, like one of them sells it.
Okay.
Amazon also sells it, but then yeah, from their website, you can pick from like all the different flavor options. And then I do have a code, LaurenFitFoodie, and that will save you like 10% on any of your purchase from there. So I think if you order like over a certain amount, they give you free shipping. But I really like when you order from their website too, because they give you like sample packs of like other
Oh,
flavors
nice.
to try, like that
Hmm.
you might not get to try otherwise. And then they also have like the different sample packs that you can order. Like if you want to try like the cookies and cream flavor or the snickerdoodle flavor, you can order like a half size pack or a 6 serving pack to kind of see if you like it before committing to like a whole tub of
Hmm.
protein.
And is it that K casein, or I mix this up, whey
Yeah.
casein blend that you mentioned? Okay, so good for baking.
Yes, great for baking.
Okay. All right. Okay. And then also, do you make shakes with it, or how else do you use that protein powder?
Yeah. I mean, I mainly, I guess I feel like I mainly bake with it, but like, I do, like, I don't usually do like strict protein shakes, at least
Mhm.
like not anymore. When I was a nurse, I would, they have like a cafe series. And so I'd get like an iced coffee and like put the cafe series in there. And that was really good. Like if you're, like busy on the run and stuff, a good like protein punch. But then I have like some protein milkshake recipes that involve like a little bit of ice cream and it, like I said, it still goes a long way and that's in there. So it's like a protein packed milkshake at night. So that's delicious. That
Oh, that
that's
sounds good. I'll have
a
to
lot.
try that. Yeah.
Yeah, delicious.
Okay. So that's your pick for protein powder. What else are your like go-to staples?
You probably heard of cut to carb wraps.
Yep. Uh-huh. Yep.
I love those. I love those. I mean, I always have some of those. I order the big pack and keep them in the freezer. But I just love those wraps so much. Well, I'm like obsessed with making like breakfast crunch wraps in the morning times. I just
Hmm.
like cook that so well. So that's like a must. And then
Do you have a discount code for those as well?
I do not know.
Okay. Okay.
I bet if you Google it, you can find one though.
Probably. Yeah.
And then besides that, like I always keep like Laughing Cow cheese wedges in the
Hmm.
cheese drawer because like the light version of those are like 35 calories and they go that goes a long way. And like I mean they're delicious on everything. I think my favorite food is like a sandwich, and so I definitely use those a lot.
Hmm.
Between that, and then I love G Hughes honey mustard. You try that?
Okay. No, I've not heard of that. Is GQ is the brand?
Or it's G Hughes, like
G
HU.
Hughes. Got it. Got it. Hmm.
I'm not sure how you pronounce it even, but they sell that like Harris Teeter and Walmart. I think like most grocery stores. But their honey mustard is delicious. I'm like, I love honey mustard, and like it definitely doesn't disappoint. And it has like, I think like for 2 tablespoons, it has 1.5 grams of fat and 1 carb, and so it's like really macro friendly. And I love sauce,
Okay.
so like it goes a long ways with you know what you can include and stuff. So
Hmm.
yes, is that five or is that any one more?
Okay. So protein powder. Cut the carb, laughing cow, honey mustard. Okay, one more.
Um,
What ice cream do you use for your milkshakes? Just any ice cream?
Any, yeah, usually any ice cream, but I like Edie's slow churned.
Uh-huh.
It's like it's a little bit like creamier than like Halo Top and Enlighten and stuff. Although those definitely work, but they're
Mhm.
it's like it's not terrible with in macro. It's just like it's lighter than like their normal version, and it's really creamy. So I like that. The French
Yeah.
vanilla flavor. It's,
Okay. Okay. No, I'll have to try the milkshake. That will, because sometimes I end the day and am low on protein, and that would taste really good, I'm sure.
yeah, it definitely does. And
Yeah.
it makes like a good amount too. So you can like kind of sip on it for a while, which is nice.
Okay, awesome. Okay, well, why don't you tell us, and we can sort of wrap things up. Tell us about, you have a new service that's out called Lauren Fit Cookie Club. So why don't you tell us all about that, and if someone is interested in that, how they would sign up and what they would get with the Lauren Fit Cookie Club.
Yeah. So I named it Fit Cookie Club, kind of like my name, but like we just got a new puppy. Her name is Cookie, and so like I kind of named it
Mhm.
after her, and also because I love cookies. So it's not like a somebody thought it was like a cookie membership for the year, like but
Yeah,
that would that's the dream.
that would be fun.
But it's kind of like what I like to call like the ultimate like fit foodie hub.
Mhm.
Like I have like a lot of goals for it with like what I want to add, like as far as like resources go, and like all just to kind of make your life easier when it comes to food and mealtime, and just like putting food like on the counter and making macros easier for you. And so like when you first sign up, you'll get access to 100 of my exclusive recipes. And like these are like all the recipes that like are in both of my cookbooks and just like other ones like that I've had here and there. All like available for you online to print out if you need to. And like all my recipes, like they're gonna have the macros listed and they're gonna be in my fitness pal. So, it's just gonna make your life so much easier that way. With not having to like, create a recipe for yourself,
Oh
log.
yeah, I agree. That having it already in MyFitnessPal is a huge,
I mean, it's a game changer. I mean,
yeah,
so
it
much
is.
easier.
I totally agree.
And so like you'll have access to those like for more variety, and like the goal is to add eight to ten new exclusive recipes to that database every month. So it's just going to continue to build, and you can have access to those all the time online. Like you'll have an account and you can log in and save them and print them and all that stuff. But also like what I think most people are most excited about, and me too, is each week every Friday you'll get an email, and it's going to have a couple of recipes for the week, like usually like 6 to 8 recipes, like with breakfast, like a breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack, dessert, some kind of like dressing or sauce, because they really like can elevate your food so much. So I'm gonna put that in there, and then like some kind of like other like side item or stuff, just to give you like some ideas for food to make for the week, so you don't have to like think about it. Like it's just sent right to your inbox, and there will be an example meal day. We've been doing 2 example meal days, like roughly, like obviously, like in its example, and like you can tweak it to however. But we have one that's like it's going to vary every week, but like one that's like 1,600, one that's like 1,900 calories. So you can kind of like pick one, and if you're just starting out, and like kind of like use that as a guideline, moving forward to do whatever you need to hit your macros. But yeah, people are really excited to like, that it's gonna like keep things exciting for mealtime. Like,
Mhm.
as far as like having to like think like, oh, what's for mealtime? Like, it's gonna give you some ideas. And like I said, the goal is to continue to build on that as well. Like I want to do, or I plan to put out seasonal collection guides, like a fall collection guide, like spring, all the seasons, and Fit Cookie Club members will get like all those guides for free, as long as like you're signed up when the guide comes out. But kind of like to focus on seasonal recipes more, and like that will be like a PDF, and then we'll integrate those recipes into the weekly meal plans like throughout that season and stuff. So I think it's gonna keep mealtime exciting and make it easier, and so I think it's gonna help a lot of people in that realm of things.
Yeah, I think sometimes it's just overwhelm and decision fatigue get in the way, and we just think, oh, it's too hard. And sometimes you just have to get in the habit of trying new recipes, like making new recipes. So I can see that this would be very helpful, that if just these are the new recipes that you try this week, and before you know it, your repertoire will have expanded, and you will have a handful of go-to recipes that will hit your macros and
What you like?
really, yeah, become new favorites. I mean, we are
Yeah.
such creatures of habit, so I think sometimes we just have to, I can see how this will like help reduce the decision fatigue. So
For sure.
and just get people out of their comfort zone. Well, that sounds amazing. So how does someone sign up and what is the cost?
So I can give you the link, but if you head to my blog too, there's a under the menu tab, there's a Fit Cookie Club tab, and so you can just click on that, and like I said, I'll give you the link too. But
Mhm.
it's $10 a month, or like even if you want to commit to a year, it's $100 a year, and you can save $20. But I try to make it like as affordable as possible, like so everybody can have access to it. So
Yeah, I think that sounds like a bargain to me. Because your recipes are pretty amazing. So
thank you.
yeah, and like I said, you personally curating a menu and a grouping of recipes sounds like a pretty amazing deal. So you'll be eating well and getting fit before you know it.
Exactly, right?
And that's the aim, right? So, okay. Well, we usually like to end our podcast talking about favorite foods. And so we know that you have a copycat Chick-fil-A sauce,
Yeah.
and you're probably a big fan of Chick-fil-A. So what's your go-to order when you go to Chick-fil-A?
So I usually like pretty much 99% of the time I'll get the grilled chicken sandwich, add pickles, and I get it on the normal bun and a side salad. And then I'll get
Okay.
a sweet tea, and I'll add my own like liquid stevia. So that's usually what I'll get like 99% of the
Okay.
time.
And did you say unsweet tea and then you add your stevia?
Yeah, I'll get like the unsweet tea and
Okay.
get it from there and add my like own liquid stevia because I love tea. Like
I
I
do
grew up
too.
drinking sweet tea, and so like when I was like, oh, it's a lot of sugar in the tea, mom. Like I tried to start make it one time. So the liquid stevia does a really good job. I think it depends on what kind you get with that too, but yeah, love it. And then like I'll add my Chick-fil-A sauce to um the sandwich and the salad because it's a little bit more macro friendly.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, that sounds pretty good. Okay, well, my go-to is the cool chicken wrap. Is that what it's called? Because that sucker has like 40 grams of protein. It's a little bit high in carbs. I don't know what but it's pretty good. I mean, you get a lot of protein and it's very filling. So I like that. And then I get their unsweetened iced tea and a diet. I call it a diet Arnold Palmer, but
Oh,
their low cal
delicious.
lemonade, half of the low cal lemonade and half of the unsweet tea. So
Try that. That sounds
that's,
delicious.
yeah, that's pretty refreshing. So, and
They have
then
that lemonade there too. Yeah.
very, very rarely, they have their peach shakes right now, which I love, but sometimes I talk my kids into sharing one of those with me. So
The milkshakes are to die for.
they are, but maybe I can come up with I don't know. Actually I do have a faux a copycat um Chick-fil-A shake, which is the Premier Protein. They have the peaches and cream shakes
Ooh,
sometimes in the summer. So I do that and then a fresh peach like from the farmer's market and then ice, a little bit of almond extract and then whipped cream on top. Like so I blend the
yeah.
Premier Protein shake, the peach, the ice, and then I put the almond extract. And it is actually a pretty
That
good
sounds.
sub for the Chick-fil-A peach shake. So
I was about to say I came up with one for the peppermint one that they do in the winter.
mm,
I have that one version of my blog too, but ugh,
I will check that
so
out.
yummy.
I forgot about my peach shake. I'm gonna go get the ingredients for
I
that.
know. I want to try that too. That sounds delicious. It's peach season, baby.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. You're in the South, but it's farmers market season here. So definitely in the middle of peach season. So
Yeah.
Um, well, thank you so much for your time. I know our clients are going to love this and then our listeners too. So you are a real inspiration and that's, again, like I tell people who are going to become like, this is a whole new world that you're stepping into. You just got to give it a chance, but you can eat very well following macros and have a very good food life. So you are living
Most
proof of that.
definitely.
Yeah.
10,000%.
Yeah. So,
Eating good is so
okay.
important.
All right. Well, thanks, Lauren. That's all we have for you today, but thank you and have a good day, everyone. Talk to you
Yes.
soon.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks. Bye-bye.